Today is January 29th, 2016, and these are your Sarno Class Weekly News Updates. Hello Sarno class and families! It's been another great week here in 5th grade. We have finally been back on a normal schedule this week, and it was awesome. I can't wait to tell you about all that we did. On to our announcements and reminders. We had a visit from the music directors at the middle school again this week. It was so cool to see your kids try out those instruments for the first time. Just please make sure if your child asks about doing performing arts next year that you are able to follow up with them and get all the necessary paperwork taken care of. Also, our next Panther Challenge went home this week. This will be due at the end of February. Movie night forms went home today as well. The next movie night at PRE will be showing Goosebumps. Be sure to have these forms turned back into school by February 3rd next week if your child wishes to attend. We also had our CPR lesson this week. If your child has any questions about this information, please encourage them to speak to you about them or to another trusted adult. Daughters, forms for the daughter dance have been sent home this week too. If you have a daughter that is interested in going to the dance with a father, grandfather, uncle, or any other significant male in her life, please turn these forms into me by next week so we can get that all taken care of. As always, please be sure to check the Panther Press for any other announcements and reminders regarding what's going on at school. Okay, in class this week, literacy. We moved into our guided reading officially, and it was a blast. I'm going to tweet here in a second about the awesome books that my students have picked. I have had so much fun already diving into the conversations we've had about the first chapters, and I'm sure that your child has too. Along with guided reading, we've also begun our preview for our next class novel called Bud Not Buddy. And with this, we familiarized ourselves with the time period by taking a gallery walk of the photographs from that time period. Students, I want you to tell your parents about the first chapter you've read from your book club this week, and also how those photographs made you feel about that time in history. In math, we took our Unit 6 math test on Monday. Those will be coming back to you probably by next Monday. And we also began Unit 7 on the order of operations. I've been so excited because this was one of my favorite things that I took away from 5th grade. So I hope that your child is excited about it as well. Students, tell your parents about the mnemonic device you learned for PEMDAS. On a side note about math, I've had some parents ask about getting some help when it comes to math. Be sure to remind your child, as I do every day, to take home their math journal and their student reference book to help them figure out their homework. As always, I am welcome and I challenge them to bring in questions that they have about the homework from the night before, because I want to make sure that we understand those concepts that we cover in our small groups before we get to the test and the study guide. In writing, we are still in our persuasive writing unit. We have moved on into drafting our next few reasons, and some students are starting to draft their conclusions. We are going to be finishing this unit by next week. I have had a chance to conference with each child, so yay! And it's been really, really fun. Students, I want you to tell your parents about what we talked about in our conference, either myself or our new instructional aide, Mrs. Langlois. Each of you has been conferenced, so tell them about what we've been talking about. In social studies, we are still in the American Revolution. We'll be finishing that up in the next week and a half or so. And this week we talked about the turning point of the war and the tough winters at Valley Forge. Students, I want you to tell your parents about your favorite lesson that we did in social studies this week. And finally, we participated in some problem-based learning today. It wasn't planned, but I saw it as a great opportunity for us to take advantage of it. So to fill you in, our doorstop for our classroom has officially died this week. It has been reduced to about 2 or 3 or 4 separate pieces that have just crumbled into bits. Well, I took this as an opportunity for us to grow as engineers, and so we did. I asked my students to solve my problem. I wanted a doorstop that worked, and they got to go through the design process to create it. It was a blast, and I'm going to put some pictures from them working in small groups in this video today. Okay, those are all of our weekly updates. As always, please feel free to send me any email with questions you may have. Have a great weekend. Students, I will see you on Monday.